call the meeting to order. And I'd like to welcome everybody to your POA Board semi-monthly meeting. And as in the past, we continue to operate under our COVID-19 protocols to protect meeting participants. And today, one of our members is attending remotely. To assure transparency and to allow community participation, this meeting is being live streamed. It'll also be recorded and will be available on the POA website. Just one announcement. On the 30th of December, the county is going to do a shred day, and it'll be at the Welcome Center from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I need a motion to approve the November 18th, 2020 TVPOA board minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second. Second. Changes. Is Steve with us?
Yeah, he was on there. So we'll do.
Did we lose him? Okay. So if there's no change, there you are. So are there any changes to the minutes? If not, all in favor? And Steve, I can't see you. Say aye or nay.
Aye.
Okay, great. 7-0. Okay, and now we'll move on to Winston's report on COVID operations.
Thank you, Mr. President. No big change to operations since our last COVID report. We have seen an increase in COVID incidents in the workforce. I use the word incidents being described as positive test or family member related positive test and not necessarily COVID illness cases. In Public Works, Clayton has implemented additional precautions in the Public Works side of the business by staggering start times to keep separation amongst employees during the start of the day. He has that broken down into 3 shifts. Those groups or crews stay together and don't intermingle with the other 2 crews. They start at 6:30, 7, and 7:30, and their end days are staggered respectively. In the food service end of the business, we had during Thanksgiving many cancellations of our Thanksgiving dinner due to the resurgent notoriety of the COVID virus. There was a lot more bookings than actually materialized at Thanksgiving dinner, but nonetheless, it was still a very successful day as far as 2020 was concerned here in the Yacht Club operation. One of the things that I wanted to cover in regard to that, and I've asked our communications to address this also, is for our property owner's sake is the AWE, the company that contracts with the POA to run the food service operation. The additional steps they're taking to protect our property owners and their employees. They have taking larger groups now and putting on the lower floor. They have separated the tables more than the CDC requirements. So they are basically exaggerating the spacing or social distancing as it's called, and doing that for the sake of the groups that dine in larger parties, 8, 10 or more. Also, with the increase in the COVID instances and its effect on property owner, he has, from day one, had a very stringent COVID policy with his running of his personnel. With the first sign or symptom of COVID, that employee is sent to be tested and is not allowed to work until the results of that test come back. So immediately on detection, those employees are removed from AWE's workforce. This is something that he and his staff and managers review every morning at start or every day at the start of shifts. Also, something that I think would be good knowledge for property owners that enjoy the food service here at Tellico Village to know is that he went above and beyond in that he found a company that did rapid testing and has prepaid for 25 tests. And when his employees are suspect or have symptoms, they are immediately sent to be tested. They get the results within 30 minutes, and then he has a clear determination whether they can come back to work or whether they should be quarantined. I just thought that was good information for our property owners to know in regards to the food service operation and the seriousness that we take with keeping them safe in their life here at Tellico Village. In admin, in the communications and marketing group, no real changes in operations. Golf has not had any real change in operations, non-related to COVID, but the cold weather has kind of slowed things down, so they're able to kind of gear down and start to catch their breath a little bit. And as far as other operations go, it's status quo from the last report. That's the end of my report. Any questions, Rick?
Any questions for Winston? Might be interesting to note that when the governor last spoke, which was on 11/24, he reported that the positivity rate for testing in the state of Tennessee is at an all-time high of 13.9%. That's well into the red zone, folks. Okay, with that, we'll move on to Chris Sykes to talk to us about golf.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Board, for having me today to give a update on golf and what's been going on in golf. We most recently gave our last update on September 2nd. So we've had tons of activity between September 2nd and today. So the clicker here. Uh-oh. So we'll make use of this time. But anyway, we've been incredibly busy. And to echo Winston's sentiment, until just this week, we've been incredibly mild and had not had a chance to really take much of a breath as a team until this week. So it finally, his winter has come, and things are going to start to slow down a little bit. So I'll get through this pretty quickly. I've got far too many slides, not in Simon Bradbury's caliber, but still I've got too many slides, so bear with me. We'll flip through them quite quickly.
So a shot at one of your co-managers.
Well, he's on. He said he would be giving me a hard time via Zoom, but just keep him muted and we'll be in good shape. So,
That's good.
As everybody knows, COVID's not going anywhere. Hopefully the vaccine can get here quickly and we can get back to more of a sense of normalcy. But in the meantime, we're committed to keeping golf as a safe haven. Obviously, with the colder temperatures, fewer folks will be coming out. And just as you guys know, the pandemic has been a big negative, but for golf, it has been a big positive. So golf is a game of social distancing. It's played in the great outdoors. So golf rounds across the country are up, and we are not unique in that capacity. We are experiencing a record golf season here in Tellico Village, and I'll share some of that data here momentarily. So this is just a picture from an article that had previously gone out in an old newsletter entitled Playing Through a Pandemic, so I thought that was still appropriate as we continue to play through this pandemic. Our COVID operations have not changed since we went to phase 2 starting on June 1st. So you can still, take advantage of electronic check-in, golf carts are still disinfected between users and so on and so forth. So all the same provisions are in place to keep everybody as health and safety as possible. Rounds report, great news. So I've actually got the updated information. Adam put that together yesterday. So I've got the rounds information on a summary level through the month of November, and as expected, November was an incredible month. It's the most mild November I can ever remember. And the Thanksgiving holiday falling at the end of the month was to our benefit as well. So for the month of November, we had 8,616 rounds, which was almost double what we had budgeted. So we were, for the month, 4,833 rounds over budget. And year-to-date, that puts us at 98,536 rounds, which is 22,834 rounds above budget. So we're easily going to eclipse 100,000 rounds for the year. We may do that this week for that matter. So incredible month. We knew it would be. Folks were able to get out and take full advantage of the mild weather and the excellent course conditions. So, we had Our first average frost was much later than normal. Average freeze was much later than normal, actually occurred this week. So we've just had excellent golfing conditions through the entire month of November. So as you would expect, the financial report is reflective of how busy we've been. So just a couple of highlights. Year to date, we're $376,000 over in total revenue. A point of emphasis there is merchandise revenue. We didn't know what to expect going into the year, but we're easily going to eclipse $300,000 in merchandise revenue for this year. So all total gross profit, we're some $330,000 over budget, and expenses were some $184,000 under budget for a net of over $500,000 to the good. So it's been a phenomenal year in golf. All the credit goes to the team, the community as a whole, just embracing and supporting us, and the board as well. So this has been a great year in golf, and we're looking forward to even better things in 2021. So just a couple little recent highlights.
Chris, before you move on.
Yes, sir.
Just a question on your numbers. So with, all the disinfecting and other things you had to do for COVID, what do you attribute your, and added expense? So what do you attribute being under budget by 180?
Primarily staffing. It was,
Okay.
Early in the year, we were cautious and conservative, and we were slow to take on some projects and do some things, and we were slow to get fully staffed, and we were never able to get fully staffed. So we continue to run lean. So again, I think your salaried staff, especially a couple of gentlemen are behind me in the room that have gone above and beyond and worked more shifts than normal to accommodate and cover, but primarily staffing.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so Black Friday was a good day for us, and we had some merchandise retail sales, and we actually had our first par 3 event with our new par 3 golf course that we built into the Tenasseee golf course. So we're going to have a par 3 golf course we build into all 3 of our facilities. So we didn't expect to get a whole lot of participation because it was such a nice day, but we ended up with 44 folks that played in the par 3 tournament at Tenasseee this past Friday. So that was some found revenue and gift certificates, and we got some good feedback. I think it's going to be just another feather in our cap with respect to having par 3 courses built within our full 18-hole golf courses, and so we're looking forward to taking advantage of those and having future par 3 events as we move forward. And,
Was that pun
Masters par
intended?
3, et cetera. Yes, ma'am.
Was that pun intended? The feather in your cap?
Yeah, no, it wasn't, but that was a good one. Thanks for picking up on that, Carla. Yeah, good one. Yes. Golf operations, we've continued to be busy, and we had our Red Tail Hawk Invitational in October. It was the ideal time of year to have it. The weather was perfect. The golf courses were the best they've been probably in their history for sure this season, and it was purely a golf event, and we were able to showcase all 3 of our world-class golf courses. A fantastic event. Very proud of what we were able to accomplish in spite of things that we were able to put on that caliber event. And kudos, congratulations to the winners, Mr. Terry Pashik and Tom Olson from Kahidi, and they were our first ever wild card overall champion. So we actually had 3 wild cards that got into the shootout this year, and a wild card won the whole thing. So congratulations to them. So again, kudos to the team that cleans up quite well. So a couple of pictures from the week of the team. So we had to take advantage while everybody was in their coat and tie. And get some good photos, but couldn't be any more appreciative of their efforts and the showing that we had. I know a couple folks on the board actually participated in the event, and I think it was a rousing success. In addition to that, Folds of Honor was in this last quarter, and again, that was a huge success. Thank you for the entire village, your support of that initiative. And the Folds of Honor Golf Marathon raised close to $10,000, which is a record, almost doubled our previous record. So your incredible generosity will help serve the families of fallen and disabled service members. So that was a great day, beautiful day out at Kahidi. We were able to showcase the Kahidi facility in our Finn scooters and take advantage of a live remote. So it was just an outstanding day, and we appreciate your support. We've been through this budget process for some time. I just wanted to go over a couple highlights real quick. We're excited about what we're able to accomplish working together through the budget process, and we're excited about the opportunities to continue to move golf forward in 2021. So a couple of highlights for 2021 on the capital side: a new fleet of golf carts for Kahidi, finish the bunker renovation at Tenasseee, renovate the front mount bunkers at Kahidi, which is going to be a huge project, long overdue, car path replacement at Tenasseee, and extending the range pad and artificial surface at Tokwa. So we're in the process of doing the legwork for that right now, so we can take advantage of that quickly. which will enable us to increase our artificial surface from 12 stalls to 24. So that's going to be huge for that facility. Golf fee highlights, we've beat this to death, but I think that we have set ourselves up for a very successful 2021. The individual and family unlimited programs remain of value for avid golfers with break-even rounds of 71 and 109 respectively. In the after two, we reinvented and we're calling the Twilight, where there's a little greater access to the golf course at the same base rate minus the cart fee, and there's unlimited cart and trail fees with all the unlimited options. So that's all stuff that we've seen on multiple occasions. So golf marketing communications, that's still probably our greatest opportunity as a department to improve and get better. We've made tremendous strides this year in working very closely with Beth and her team. But you know, the upcoming newsletter is going to have a big golf presence again. We put a lot of work into that. The Tellico Village Golf Talk has been a lot of fun. Thank you to Tellico Village Broadcasting, Lynn Willis, the host, and John Manso to putting it together. And we're going to do things a little differently over the winter. We're going to get the entire golf management team involved and do some winter series that includes tips from the pros, rules of the game, product spotlights, and tricks of the trade, which is more your back of the house stuff with your golf superintendents can share a little of their knowledge as well. But we'll have some of those episodes coming up, and I know Casey Flanagan just filmed a tips from the pro episode, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're constantly updating the website, putting together new brochures to continue to better market all we have to offer in Tellico Village Golf. So that's just a picture of the bulletin article, that's the newsletter article that's in process. And again, golf will have a big presence. Something else recently, we're working on improving the overall golf and food and beverage, the restaurant experience. So we spent some time as a team. Andy Foster and AWU came and met with the golf management team. We got into all kinds of opportunities for how we can continue to move that forward in 2021. So we're excited about working more closely with Andy and his team, how we can continue to improve the golf and restaurant experience in 2021. So we're working very hard together with AWE on those initiatives. Golf Goes High Tech, again, you know, just reiterating the impact of the Trackman. The fin cycles, you can see down there in the lower right-hand corner, the fin grin, so to speak, that's what they call it. Those things that you just instantly smile and have fun when you hop on them. The Trackman has had a huge impact. So to date, since we got the Trackman, it's led to over $116,000 in equipment sales from demo days and customs fittings. And it's been utilized for different events. And we're going to have full-time simulator set up through the winter months. So Trackman Tuesdays, we've got our first tee times for next Tuesday to take advantage of the simulator set up at the pavilion. And again, I appreciate you folks, the majority of the board coming out and getting a little sneak preview with what that's going to look like. So we're super excited about that. And you helped us work out some of the kinks with some wayward shots. So we've gotten some new netting. Sorry, Carl, I couldn't help it. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. I thought that was a fantastic event. And again, you guys did us a favor and helped us identify some of the potential pitfalls as we move forward. So we got a little additional netting. We're going to have some screens to block the wind. We got a couple additional heaters. So hopefully we can have a really good, strong setup there. It's all plug and play, and you know, here in the next few weeks, on days like today or yesterday, hopefully we'll get some people out there and remain active in golf. So, Finn Scooters, excited about that. Audubon, we actually just got word back yesterday. Our recertification went through, so the people from Audubon International were down here in October to do a site inspection, which they do every 3 years. We have to go through the recertification process, so we're excited to pass along that we did get recertified. So that's ongoing, and they were very impressed, just to say the least. So that's exciting news. Parkland environment, we've talked about that. I think it's been very well received. This is the time of year where folks have the greatest access. When we start doing the 10 o'clock double tees, so people are able to get out on the golf course when it's not suitable to be playing golf and take advantage of the paths and get out there and walk the dog and so on and so forth. And I know there's going to be a bigger, more extensive report on continuous improvement, but it's going to be another big year for golf, and it includes a number of COVID-19 programming initiatives, so we're proud of our achievements there too. So celebrating our team, an ongoing golf personnel profile series that we'll be conducting, most notably to focus on the back of the house employees, but we recently took a golf management team, went on a little retreat, a little overnighter, taking advantage of some of our relationships with some folks from McConnell Golf, who owns Holston Hills. So went and played golf at Musgrove Mill, spent the night there, had a big time. It was great to see, guys that don't spend a whole lot of time together get to know each other a little bit with respect to golf maintenance and golf operations employees, and it was just an absolute home run and a great trip, a treat for the guys, and we grew closer together in the process, so it was an outstanding opportunity. This is, highlight from the back of the house. This is Carl Shaw, an article about him. He's the head mechanic at Tenasseee and had a huge impact on golf and the golf operation and saved us tens of thousands of dollars through the years. And we got another one coming up that'll be highlighting Chris Heron, who's the irrigation technician at Tokwa. And we're fortunate to have somebody of his expertise on staff as well. So all very positive. It's been a roller coaster of a year, but a very successful year in golf, and we're excited about what the future holds and look forward to moving golf forward in 2021.
Cool.
Any questions, comments?
Yeah, I'm dying to say something.
Oh,
About
goody.
Carla's golf game? Or?
No, no, having,
I tell you what, you were impressive. You showed up cold.
oh, please don't tell them. There may be some money riding on this one. They don't
Yeah,
know.
have you gotten fitted for that driver?
Yeah,
You
so,
weren't using your equipment.
so I gotta move the microphone away. Beth will get on. So, we sat here as board members for the last 3 years, 2.5 years. And being on the golf advisory and working with MGA and attending all these meetings, we heard every single month, and bless his heart, but every single month we talked about rain and the amount of inches and the amount of losses and all this. And this year we've had, if I understand and I'm reading correctly, we had record rainfalls this year.
We did.
And we should have, by all rights, seen Kahiti float off further down into Monroe County, right?
No question about it.
Yeah, and you're reporting record rounds, and your guys could have rolled over as easy as anything during any time of this COVID and not hitched their pants up and done what they did this year. Fantastic job. Thank you very much
Thank
to
you.
everybody in your staff.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We don't get to hear from your cronies back here? No, I want to hear from you guys.
Bodyguards.
Bodyguards, there you go.
Here you go, dear.
Now it's really wet. All right. I'm here to give you all an update on the Community Advisory Committee and what we've been working on this year, and my chair, Annette, has approved of this message. Our goals given by the board this year were to enhance and expand the communication strategies, including platform and distribution, as well as live streaming, which we still keep finding kinks to work out, but we're working on it diligently every single meeting. Also, to expand the internal and external marketing, including village events, to facilitate the synergies marketing campaigns with golf and food service, which Chris just kind of touched on, which was in the plans that you all received, and to design and implement a public relations strategy to build awareness and increase community exposure, both internal and external, and basically just enhance the image of Tellico Village. So some of the goal deliverables for the communication side was to design and implement a communication strategy, and the strategy and plan have both been complete and were included in your packet. To increase distribution channels and content, like I said, live streaming and up and has been running pretty successfully, utilizing Nextdoor and Tellico Life, which we are now on, and increase Telegram distribution. On the marketing was to develop and implement internal marketing strategy, external marketing strategy, and then marketing plans and strategies for recreation, golf, food service. Those have been complete and were in your packet as well, have been budgeted for the 2021 cycle, and working with each department to finalize those plans, and that will be a moving target as we move through based on what their needs are at any given time. Public relations also was to have a plan and strategy, which is completed. One of the things we did was create a list of influencers for content promotion. So if there is a blogger out there who specializes in writing about, say, quilters, that we would submit them articles specifically for quilting. There are golf writers, which we hosted one a couple of months ago and just did a great article on Tellico Village Golf that's been shared on all of our platforms. So those kind of things are what we're looking at and have budgeted for doing more of next year under the public relations arm.
So Beth, what is the current circulation of the Telegram?
Next slide. So currently, we have 4,570 subscribers, and that's up 918 since January. So we've really been doing a good job at, asking everyone if they get the Telegram, especially new people, and adding it to all the email signatures on all the main staff's email has helped. We get a lot of subscribers that way. Sharing it on Nextdoor periodically. The leads have been great on Nextdoor, telling people to make sure they sign up. So it's been a big push for us this year, and it's been successful. Just last month, we had 82 new subscribers. The average open rate of the Telegram is about 58.8%, which is really well. And teleflashes obviously get a better open rate because normally they're very important updates that are timely, and people are paying a little bit more attention to those. Where the Telegram people know they can go back and read it later.
So Beth, can you target people that do not, or that are not subscribed to the Telegram?
No, not really, except asking them like we have been if they get it at POA 101s, New Villagers, once those events start coming back up. We do, as far as every new packet that goes out that comes from the POA, Ashley sends out your new packet when you buy a lot or house. In there, it sends them to a webpage where we encourage them to sign up for the Telegram, sign up for the POA website, Tellico Life. It's kind of, here's a checklist of all that you should do, and that's something we worked on with New Villagers and HOA to kind of do a checklist to make sure everybody is signing up for all the important places. It's almost like, on one hand, we have too many things for them to go do at one time, and we really wish there was one place they could sign up and it distribute to everybody. And I was telling yesterday at POA 101, on the help spot, I actually received one of the worst rankings and a response back, and it was because they were trying to reset their password on our website, but they had never registered, and they were getting us confused with Tellico Life. And really, there was nothing I could do. So after we explained it to them and showed them where to go, it was like, oh, it's a different website. I'm really sorry. And so it worked out fine. But we do still get a lot of confusion about who runs what the sign-up is, all the different places. So we are creating a one page for New Villagers, where they go for all their content, and all that's listed out there. But we are still working on a way that hopefully in the future on Tellico Life they can sign up once, and that can be distributed to HOA, New Villagers, POA. It's a work in progress. Live streaming, our average live audience is 10 to 20 people. Currently, when I walked over here, there were 24 people watching. Our record high was 87, and I'm pretty sure that was when we were talking about the Tugaloo Dog Park coming in. Just the last few board meetings, I show you the total views. So although those people might not be watching live, afterwards we're getting pretty decent viewership. The highest one was August the 5th, which I think also was the Tugaloo, or right around there was a hot topic. And then July 22nd as well. You could see that we had 1,100 people watch that video. HOA Candidates Night also received good reviews, or good views at 629. I think that's it for me. Is there any questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Am I turning it over to Parker? You want to run your own slides, Parker? Okay.
Today, we're going to present for your consideration a 2020 capital project funding request. This is to replace the partially completed metal roof at the Wellness Center. You're all familiar with the background to this, but as a preamble to the request for funding of the new project. This would remove the partially completed metal roof at the Wellness Center and replace it with a shingle roof. The budget amount for 2020, we had $304,000 plus in the 2020 capital plan for completion of the metal roof. Now that that project has been halted and abandoned, that budget money is still there for 2020. The request for the shingle roof comes in just north of $290,000. Funding would be from the R&M Reserve Fund. This project has been reviewed online and by email vote by both the Finance Advisory Committee and the Public Services Advisory Committee, and both of them recommend board approval of this project. The metal roof job started in 2019. It was stopped due to poor workmanship and appearance, and due to the onset of winter and the possibility of even more oil canning of another metal roof, it's recommended that we install a 40-year shingle roof. This is sole sourced due to the urgency of getting the new roof installed before the true dead of winter sets in despite the cold snap that we're experiencing this week. The recommended company happens to be the one that installed the roof at the new Tellico Clubhouse. So that remaining $304,000 in the 2020 capital plan was originally budgeted for completion of the metal roof. We will report on this shingle roof against that 2020 capital plan, and with that, with that, we will remove $567,000 that is now budgeted for phase 2 of the metal roof in the 2021 capital plan. So net, there will actually be a reduction of the demands on capital to put a new roof on the building. The sole bid is from QRRC, that is Quality Roofing Restoration Construction. They're out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee, $290,674. So the requested Board of Directors action is approval of that amount of money as a capital project with funding from the R&M Reserve Fund. And you have additional details in your board packets showing signed funding requests all the way through the CEO, and also some of the bid details are in there, as well as some of the details on warranties. Basically, the warranty on the roof is a 40-year prorated manufacturer's warranty on the shingles. The first 20 years is full replacement from the manufacturer's warranty for defects, and QRRC will provide a 5-year full workmanship warranty on the installation. So those are sort of the highlights of the project, and I'd request the board to entertain a motion to that effect.
I need a motion to approve capital expenditure of $290,674 from the R&M Reserve Fund to remove the partially completed metal roof at the Wellness Center and replace it with a shingle roof. Pat? Sue? Discussion? Yes.
I'd like to take a minute for those people that are out there that aren't quite as familiar with this and what happened as the board members might be, and that is that when we went through this process to get a roof the first time around, we actually followed the guidance that's been put forward for us as far as contracting. We did a competitive bid. At that time, we got 3 bids. One of the bids came in significantly lower than the other 2. We vetted all 3 of them, and when we came to the fact that we should go with the lowest bid, we were a little concerned because of the variations in the bids. So what we did is that we went out and made 2 assurances. Number one is that the bidder, we wanted to have the ability to fully vet their subs as well, which we did. And even then, there was still some concern, so we took out a performance bond against them. So I just wanted the people in the village to know that this board did its due diligence. Our staff did their due diligence. Our attorney did his. So everything that we thought we needed to do, we did. And even with all that, doing it right, unfortunately, it still went south. So now we're at a place where we have to do what is right, and that is to put a roof on that building before it gets more damage, and that's what we're doing today. And again, we're doing our due diligence here as well. So unfortunately, as much as we would like to have said the metal roof was a great thing for us to have, and we would love for that project to be finished, it didn't happen. And now what we're doing is what we think is best for the village at this point in time, and that is to get a roof on that building as quickly as we can get it, one that we know that will serve our needs and get us through 40 years of activity in that building.
And what language am I looking for, Rick, here? It's not holding accountable, but we still have the process of, what word am I looking for, from the past folks that got us in this situation?
I'm sorry.
Well, there were people that came in and did this, and we had the performance bond, and that issue has not been resolved.
No, it's still in open litigation.
Yes, and
Yeah.
again, we're not going to discuss that part, but that's not
Yeah.
dropped. But as Bruce says, we need a roof on that, and we're making a decision to put that roof on that building and get on with this,
Yeah.
even though this litigation is still ongoing.
And Bruce, I want to thank you for reiterating the history of what went down. You know, I'd add one more thing. We actually hired an engineer to oversee this, and he failed too.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree with you. And everybody does need to know that there is an active litigation, and it'll come out where it comes out.
And we need a roof.
And we need a roof.
And
Yes, Steve?
Yeah, just to follow up on Bruce's comments, and if you take a look at the slide, it could be a little misleading because it shows we have money in the budget. We're going to take money out of the budget next year. But barring any settlement in the litigation, we will have an overrun on the original estimate to put a shingle roof on. So just to be clear with the property owners, this project had some management issues. It's kind of forcing the board's hand. We have to take action now because you've got a building that doesn't have a completed roof. With winter setting in, we can't afford to have more physical damage to the building, so we need to get a roof on. So we're kind of forced into approving this to get the shingles up as quick as possible.
Thank you, Steve.
Does the new funding request include, or do we need a performance bond for this project?
Well, I guess I would pose that question to Parker.
This request does not include a performance bond, at least I don't believe that it does. Let me look back at their submittal.
Just based on the other experience, do you think we need one?
Was that discussed by the
Yeah,
PSAC?
Yeah, here in the bid document itself, it specifically says bond not included.
Okay.
Now, we can, if the board would like, we can pursue that and get a.
Well, that
get a
worked so
quote.
well for us the last time.
That's what I was just kind of thinking that we jumped through all the flaming hoops last time, and yet it still didn't work out right. But I don't know if that necessarily means that it would never be necessary.
I think that we could probably task Winston, since he was so nice to me during lunch, and we can task him and ask him to take a look at the history of shingle roofs and the application of shingle roofs as it relates to POA businesses, not business, but buildings, and come back to us with a decision that he thinks yes or no.
Okay, sounds great.
Parker, I have more of a process question, I guess. because here we are, we're in the 1st of December, and we're approving this out of 2020. So is the approval, I mean, is the capital plan based on the approval date, or is it based on spending the money?
Well, admittedly, we're kind of straddling the end of the year here, but my view is approving this today, we do have the $304,000 not yet spent out of the 2020 capital plan that is adequate to fund this project. I would prefer that it be funded out of the 2020 capital plan and reported as such. What you'll see on the next request, the flat roof, that is budgeted in 2021. So admittedly, I'll be asking you to approve that project earlier than budgeted, but I would plan to report that one against the 2021 capital plan. So, we're trying to report sort of as they fall, but also as they are budgeted. And that's about the best we can do under the circumstances.
If you didn't do the new shingle roof against 2020, that would just be carryover capital to next year, right?
It would.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my question, because I always thought capital is spent out of the budget of the year that it's actually spent on out of.
My understanding of the execution of this project, if approved, it will start very soon, and the contractor, I'm told, estimated 30 days to completion. So, that probably won't be
close.
completed by year end. It certainly won't be paid by year end, but to me, it seems to fit better as a 2020 project than it does a 2021 project, where, I mean, this is, this shingle roof is not budgeted in 21. For that matter, a shingle roof wasn't budgeted in 20. But, the reporting seems to fit best by treating this as a 20 project and treating the flat roof as a 21 project.
Okay, fair. Thanks.
Fair enough. Any other questions for Parker? Okay.
Any outside comments?
Yeah, we've got one. Well,
Yeah, two questions, basically. The first one is, originally, we went with a metal roof over a asphalt roof, a shingle roof. What was the difference in warranty on that, on longevity?
it's negligible.
Negligible.
We've actually vetted this project with a roofing contractor about, 3 weeks ago now? And we asked him that direct question, and he said, there's very little difference in the longevity of these.
Okay. And the second question is, assuming litigation is successful and legal fees, how much more is this roof going to cost us than it would have been going with a asphalt roof from the very beginning? How much more is it going to cost us? Any idea?
Well, it depends on which bid that you would have taken. If you took the low bid, which, by the way, was the same people that were going to do the metal roof, then I would, tell you that, yeah, we're going to pay a lot more. But if you took the bid that was the next bidder, it was about, as I recall, $550,000 higher. And that question was asked very directly, when we looked at the bids, is why are you so much lower than the other two bidders? And basically, that's why we took all of the extraordinary precautions we did when we awarded it to the low bidder. Now, unfortunately, we're in litigation over it, but, c'est la vie. Is there any other outside comments? Okay. So, all in favor of approving this project? Right hand? Pat, are you voting?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Okay, it's 7-0.
Sorry.
I was going to answer.
Yeah, he actually didn't vote, he just.
Yeah.
And-
What did it be?
Winston, are you going to let us know what you think about the performance bond at some point after you check into that? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you do that by email? Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next project for your consideration is replacement of 2 flat roofs at the Wellness Center. This is budgeted in the 2021 capital plan, so admittedly, we're moving this forward by about a month. The request comes in just south of that, $91,496. Also funded from the R&M Reserve Fund. Project was reviewed again by both Finance Advisory Committee and Public Services Advisory Committee. Electronically, they voted unanimously to approve the recommendation of this project for board approval. And the flat roofs that are part of the Wellness Center are now leaking. The replacement of the flat roofs, as we just noted, was budgeted in next year's capital plan, but we're recommending this be pulled forward to right now. That's due to concerns about continuing damage to the building, impending winter weather, and to execute this project at the same time as the shingle roof. Since this was budgeted in 21 and not in 20, it will be treated and reported as part of the 2021 capital plan. The sole bidder, again, is Quality Roofing Restoration Construction out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And the request for board consideration is approval of $91,496 as a capital project with funding from the R&M Reserve Fund. Included in your packet is similar information regarding warranty, and flat roofs do not come with as long a warranty as the shingle roofs for obvious reasons. This one does have a 2-year full warranty from the contractor and a 15-year membrane warranty from the manufacturer. And other details are included in your packet as to the bid details. So with that, I'll ask for board consideration.
So we need a motion to approve the capital expenditure of $91,496 from the R&M Reserve Fund to replace 2 flat roofs at the Wellness Center.
Motion approved.
Second. Discussion.
Question, how long have we gotten out of this current flat roof, Winston? Yeah, 16 years, and you said the warranty is 15?
15-year warranty.
So we're
the
right on
membrane.
track to,
Yeah, seems to be.
The reason for the single source bid, is this part of, are they going to do this in conjunction with the
They'll-
other?
They'll do it concurrently.
Yeah, they'll have everything on site, so.
You know,
Do we
one
get a
mo- one
volume
mo- One
discount?
mobilization, you
Can we
don't
get a
have,
volume discount?
don't have contractors tripping over each other, which off of a roof is not a good thing.
so just for information, is this a tar type thing with a membrane with tar over it, or
You've exceeded my technical
versus
knowledge
a
of
shingle?
flat roofs.
Yeah, it's just put the membrane down, put tar over it. Tar, yeah. Okay.
And if
Couldn't
you-
hear the response.
If you read your board packet, it also says that there will be detailed membrane and installation of individual walk pads where needed.
Yeah.
So you won't be walking and crushing down and breaking holes and all that kind of stuff. And it talks about the 4x8 poly and the full adherence and all that. It's all in there.
Steve, did you have something?
No, I just, I couldn't hear what the response was with
Oh.
regard to tarring from Winston.
You want to repeat that and turn on your microphone this time?
I was just answering Bruce's question. Yes, it's a built-up roof membrane covered by felt with hot, asphalt tar on the seams. And as Pat alluded to in the packet, it's, they're going to build in walkways to go to AC units and so forth to protect the structure with foot traffic.
If there's no other comment, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? 7-0. Thank you, Parker.
Okay, thank you. To summarize where we are as of this board meeting in terms of the 2020 capital plan, This now takes up 2 pages, so you've already seen page 1 before. The second page just adds the shingle roof for the Wellness Center as the last line item before the summary totals. Budgeted at $304,465 and authorized $290,674. So 13,000 and change under budget for the 2020 capital plan. With that, we have an unfavorable variance to plan of $286,000 to date. We're a little over halfway through, 53% of the 2020 capital plan, and we're 18% over budget for projects approved to date. But if you exclude the Kahidi Community Center patio heating, which was funded entirely by private funding, then we're about 15% over budget for projects approved to date, and all of that really is from unbudgeted projects. The new grapple truck being the largest one, and some others contributing smaller amounts to that. The note at the very bottom of this page is a reminder that replacement of the 2 flat roofs at the Wellness Center will be reported as part of a similar capital plan summary of project variances in 2021. And what you'll see in January is a recap of the entire year 2020, including this roof and anything else that comes in between now and the end of the year.
Do you know of the execution of the 2 flat roofs? Will it start happening in December, or is it after the others finished?
I think it will start in December. I don't know if there's anyone online that could answer that. I know Jeff is not.
Okay. Doesn't matter, I was just curious.
Didn't know if Chad might be online.
Doesn't appear so.
Not hearing him, okay. So, whoa, missed a couple. Okay, there we go. So, with that said, this is what is left out of the 2020 capital plan. We've got a large amount of dollars carried over, that is, money's not spent in 2020, even though this was budgeted for 2020. The largest of these is the water storage tank for Coyote at $1 million. We know now that that's not going to be done. There is some money in the 21 budget for pumps and other infrastructure improvements, but that is money not spent in 2020. Likewise, the wave attenuator, we have spent some evaluation money in 2020, but the repairs or replacements to the wave attenuator will carry over to 2021. And you see the rest of these projects either that are not needed at all, carryovers to next year. There is still some money budgeted to be spent in 2020, although we're kind of running out of time. The largest of those is the variable frequency drive and controls for the main lift station. $68,000 was budgeted. The expectation was that that was going to be done this year, but Public Service Advisory Committee and staff have determined there might be a lower cost way of accomplishing that, and so they're evaluating other lower cost options, and so that money might not be spent in 2020. If it turns out that something else is deemed a better solution or lower cost solution to replace that project, we may very well budget that for 21. And like I mentioned at our last meeting, we've kind of got one more shot at that in January to make adjustments to the 21 capital plan, and we'll do that if called for. So with that, where we are on cash flow, well, cash is looking awfully strong as net income looked awfully strong. Now this is just an update of what you saw at the November 18th board meeting, except that the Wellness Center shingle roof has been added into the capital plan for the capital expenditure line. We don't have November financials yet, The month just ended, and so that is in progress. But where we were at the November 18th meeting, which is the end of October operations, we had favorable variance on net income, almost $1.8 million. Depreciation running under budget because of projects not done or deferred later into the year. CapEx, we have overrun the $286,000 already noted, but offsetting that, we have $1.4 million of capital deferrals. So all in, we're projecting a variance to plan more than $2.7 million as a favorable cash flow variance, and the projection then being about $2.3 million positive cash flow for the year. That's still subject to some change with financials for the months of November and December, but awfully strong year to date, and we have good expectations for the balance of the year. And with that, I will take questions, but otherwise, I am done.
Any questions for Parker? Anything from outside? Nope. Thank you, Parker.
Okay, thank you.
That brings us to the ever-popular other. So does anybody have an other?
Oh, what, no, Merry Christmas. No, I don't.
I move we adjourn.
So,
Bruce
You
has
should
another.
have seen your face.
I just knew. Okay, with that, I guess we're adjourned.